Welcome, everybody, to the weekly shift. Today's episode is brought to you by your friends over at Simply Safe. Now, check this out. When you're out there, you want home security, you want peace of mind that you and your family deserve. So, there's one protector that you need to go talk to when you want home security and you want the home defense that you want for. You don't want anything crazy happening. You want to go check our friends out over at Simply Safe. Check them out at www.simplysafe.com. Welcome back to the weekly shift. I am your host, Chris Wiggins. And look, I know it has been a while. It's been almost 2 years. And I want to say it's been even longer since y'all have all heard from me. I'm just absolutely excited to be back here. We have quite a few things that we're going to get to. Today's episode, we're going to be joined by a good friend of mine. That is a Grammy winning producer. That's a good friend, Koalo. You know him. He laces a track. He knows how to put a production there. Like, the man's got a Grammy. We got a lot of few things that we're going to get through. But before that, our main man, Plain Sight, is going to go ahead and drop a beat. All right, welcome back to the weekly shift. Look, things have been so different. As I said at the top, it has been a while since y'all have seen me. It's been a while since y'all have heard from me. I got quite a few things I want to get to. You know, we do have a guest today. We have a new manner at which we're doing this show. Look, a few things that have been happening since I've been gone. Look, I'm now a two-time campaign loser, so ran for U.S. House again. Those days are over. My political career is over. As it relates to this show, that means that we're not going to be doing a lot of the things that we were doing previously. We expand a lot on politics, and I know that a lot of my followers, y'all all come back from our time doing the last retort with Kelly and Matt and everyone. That was political heavy. I get it. Those were good times. Those were fun times. I'm at a different stage in my life, but the brand that we have, a weekly shift, where when we first started this, is because I wanted to do something where it's just solo and really want to spend a lot more time with guests and learning from a lot of creatives and hopefully teach you some things, distill information in a fun way. Now, current events, I really stopped doing a lot of the stuff politically on the show. Unfortunately, right around the time that Mr. Floyd was murdered, that's about 4 years back. And, we went to pretty guest heavy. And, I've tried to flirt with coming back and finding out where the voice is. Look, podcasts got very popular during the pandemic, and I didn't know if I had a niche. If you have things such as, Larry Wilmore's, wonderful, talented. You've got podcasts from Al Franken. You do not need to learn about politics from me. You have really, really fascinating, creative people, and I'm glad to see where podcasts are at. But we are a current event show, so that doesn't just mean that we're talking politics. That means that we're talking about everything. If it trends, we want to hear about it. We want to get my analysis. So we're going to be doing that. And I hope that you like the new format of the show. We're still going to be doing celebrity birthdays. We are still going to do the mailbag. We are not going to have the mailbag today as we are just returning. And, I want to spend a lot of time with our guests because it's a talented brother. But we have a few things that we want to get into. And let me go ahead and kick it off at the top. You all know me. We've done episodes. If you're a fan of the Bingers Assemble, another Star Modern Media production, you know that we did a very great episode on 90210. If you listen to our show, that we've had Larry Mullen, former writer and executive producer of 90210. All I'm saying is this, somber news this week. We came into this week. Again, we're recording this episode here on July 16th, but we came to this episode learning that Shannon Doherty had passed away this past weekend after a 9-year battle with cancer. As I said, if you know me, my sister and I, story has been told multiple times. Sister and I, we used to watch 90210 as a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. So the show came on. I think it debuted just around the time I started crawling and walking. I don't know, the cerebral palsy. Who knows how when I was actually walking? But immediately show Luke Perry, Shannon Doherty. You got Ian Ziering. You got Jason Priestley. You got Jenny Garth. But probably the most famous, most notorious of that being Shannon Doherty, was seen as the Hollywood bad girl. Left the show, went on to be on Charmed, rejoining Aaron Spelling, and because he knew that from a creative standpoint, nobody can bring in an audience like her, and nobody can just act. And if you hear the tributes that have come from so many of her different co-hosts, it's and that's been over the years, just prior to her passing. That look, whatever you want to say about her, how she was on set, whatever. When she would get there and show up, she could just turn it on and she could just bring it. So with her passing, it comes at a time where we've lost quite a few people from 90210. And, with Luke Perry, Dylan, Brenda, That's what you're talking about. They're reunited again. And Shannon Doherty, I say this. I watched Charmed. I mean, look, 10 years old. You got Shannon Doherty, you've got Holly Marie Combs, and you got Alyssa Milano, and you're like, yo, all right, this was meant for me. That alongside Buffy made the WB absolutely palatable. So we thank Charmed for being able to get that kicked off. That couldn't have been possible without Shannon Doherty bringing eyeballs in, get people to see something they want to talk about. But what she's going to be famous for is being Brenda Walsh. Obviously, she's acting in movies, Mallrats, and etc. She's going to be famous for being Brenda Walsh. She took this role. She provided someone like, you look at Beverly Hills. I grew up in Southern California. You look at Beverly Hills, you say, this is a place that I'd love to go check out. She made it accessible as the one half of the twin group coming from Minnesota. Iconic love pairing, iconic triangle, iconic quotes. And just, you think about that. All right, who would I want to date if I was on that show? You're leading directly back to Brenda Walsh. And, I'll say this, she has been an outspoken, from what I've heard, she's been a gay icon. And just in the interviews that you see, and you see what she posts on social media for that community, she has been a fierce advocate. And that goes all the way back to the 90s when it wasn't necessarily something that was palatable, and middle-class households probably weren't the most hip to it. She's been consistent on that. And her coming and showing her brave battle, the ferocity at which she battled breast cancer for 9 years, and as heartbroken as we all were when, to hear after we thought that she had beat it and then it returned. And then to see that she continued to make appearances, continued to do podcasts, continue to speak, and just be as authentic and real as she can be. I know all of this can exacerbate the sense of loss. So a lot of my Gen X listeners might be thinking that this is somebody that you grew up with, that you felt for the first 4 years of the 90s. Then for the last 2 to 3 years of the 90s on Charm, you say, this is somebody that I grew up with. A lot of women might be saying, this is someone I identify with. As I said, this was the relatable person from these properties. And I know all of this, that there's this tribute and the hoopla that we can provide exacerbates the sense of loss. I just want to say this, rest in peace. And I'm not going to get corny and hit them with the old, hey, Brenda and Dylan are back together upstairs. But Shannon, thank you for enriching our viewing experience and our fandom while you're here. May you rest in peace. And thank you so much for showing so many people that are battling, whether that's cancer or any kind of disease, that you can battle it, and that you can persevere, and you can do it with so much grace. So rest in peace. There's not really an easy way to transition from that. Someone's passed, but we do have a show to do, and I have a few things I wanted to get into. It has been a wild week. Look, again, we record this here Tuesday, July 16th. I'm recording this in the evening. RNC is happening. We won't be covering that, unfortunately. Just we are trying to get to some different things. Also, with that news coming out, obviously, what has happened with former President Trump and the assassination attempt back this weekend. Condolences to him, and condolences to the family of the person who was unfortunately killed. We aren't going to be covering that, though. But I am going to give you a little bit of fodder from the RNC. That is Amber Rose. Yes, you know her. Former, I don't know if it's wife or baby mama of rapper Wiz Khalifa, and also known for College Hill. And then also, I believe she was dating Kanye West. She was actually there and present, and she was the +1 when Kanye went on stage and let's just say made Taylor Swift famous. But she's in hot water. Look, I don't care about anyone's politics. I don't. So she's been embracing the RNC for months. She's been getting dragged all over the Shade Room, every place, World Star Hip Hop, every place. Has caught some flack, but she spoke at the RNC recently. Great, loud, thunderous applause in her speech. In it, she proclaimed all things and went into the aspects of blackness versus liberalism and things like that. Anyways, venerable anchor Joy Reid over from MSNBC. They are now beefing. Amber Rose, Joy Reid. Okay, look, check this out. Essentially, Joy Reid has called her out on denying her blackness. Now, it is unclear if Joy Reid is saying that this is something that she did at the RNC or in general. However, Amber Rose fired back, said that she is not denying her blackness and came at Joy Reid. Now, internet is forever, though. You better have them receipts. You got some things. Trust me. I know from doing the show. If you ain't got them receipts, they will come for you. Nevertheless, internet has found a clip of her essentially saying that she does not identify as black. Look, I do not care, all right? I got to say one thing about this. You want to vote, vote for whoever you want to vote for. But there is a semblance of individuals who I don't want to use the term culture vulture. Let me be very clear. But there are some people that just decide that, you know what, let me go ahead and get myself in them black spaces, in them black audiences, allow sort of my popularity to be that. Now, people can do that. It's not illegal. And by all means, if you then want to deny that, who are we to say anything? But what I can say is that, look, what does it say in that there's no identifiable talent or skill set? Yet you you bathe under black soap. You you rise and you sleep under the black comforter. Uh, and all of the celebrity that brings you, all of the fanfare that brings you, and then you go out and you deny the blackness. You try to distance yourself for that. Again, it's not illegal. You can do that. Does not mean that it is something great. It does not mean that it's an example that we want to set. You want to go into the RNC? Go into the RNC. You want to pull old Stacey Dash? Go and pull old Stacey Dash. You want to be Candace Owens, but just with shorter hair? Go ahead and do that. But the reality is, you can't be casting aspersions about how this blackness isn't you, right? And then say that you ain't done that, and then we got receipts of you out there saying it. Look, there need black pride. Say what you want about it. Black folks they will rehabilitate you. We will rehabilitate you. You go out there, make a mess. Society says they want to catch you aside. We're gonna have your back when you ride with us. We ask that you have our back. As simple as that. Don't deny your blackness. You want to go speak at the RNC? Go speak at the RNC. You want to say, you know what? I don't want to, I want that country club lifestyle. Go out the country club lifestyle. Don't be acting like, you too good about where you came from. All right. And look, Joy Reid, though, I sense that her and individuals like Van Jones who are saying how dangerous this can be to have her there. I don't see it dangerous. She's not a threat. Like, she does not speak for the black community, obviously. She is not somewhere that you say, I can't wait to put her on a black dollar or a black $20. No, she ain't even gonna get on. Listen, she won't even get a bootleg plug nickel. All right. So I don't know. I don't see where that comes from and why that is a criticism that somebody at MSNBC might have of somebody. Just given the stature. And again, it was night one of the RNC. This ain't even prime time. This is like, you go, I pay $60. I want to go see the boxing match. This ain't the main card. This is not the prelim. This is just that thing. It's a 7-hour card. This is the first hour, right? This is what you do when you're on the toilet. So she was speaking there. Look, but the reality is this. Let's keep it a stack. All right. You already know. Don't be abandoning the culture. Now, I want to get into some other things there. Again, we do have a very special guest. We're going to be bringing him on. I want to, again, we record this July 16th. Crazy thing. Ingrid Andress, you already know her. Bad national anthem. Home Run Derby, the summer showcase, Major League Baseball. She gets out there and look, it's a clunker. Like, it's worse than a clunker. It's not a bus pass. It's not walking. It's just trying to crawl. She's trying to crawl. All right, not a clunker, just trying to crawl. Bad national anthem. People are saying, you know what? Okay, Fergie, we forgive you. we were, what's the Shaq meme? We weren't familiar with your game. This is a case of, hey, we weren't familiar with your shit. Ingrid Andress. Now she's coming out. I don't want to make light of this part. She's saying that she was drunk. She is going to go and get support and counseling for her drinking problem. Again, anyone does that, you have my respect. Very odd at the manner at which it comes out after his backlash about a very bad performance. Again, I do not listen to her music. I was unfamiliar with the artist until then, and you really do hate to see this is worse than getting booed at an Apollo. All right, this is a home run derby. This is the thing that people like, you know what, this is accessible. This is what I want to see, and then you're gonna mess it up, and then to then now say, all right, you know what, I have a drinking problem. That's why it's messed up. Again, I don't want to make light of this drinking problem, but if maybe that should have been addressed before you went out there and you went and ruined the national anthem like Butcher did. All right, Francis Scott Off-Key. Look, Roseanne is probably sitting there saying, you know what, peep this. I think she came out and said that she holds the record for bad national anthems. Listen, at least you owned it. What we're having out of this is like, come on. I'm not going to cover too much of it and also I don't want to be playing a clip of it either because it is if you have ear problems, just causing an ear infection. So we're not going to be doing that. But look, let's get into some things really quickly. New movies coming out. Look, again, we're recording this July 16th, so I believe this year on the 19th, we got a new movie coming out. That is called Twisters. You can see it starring the great and wonderful and talented Glenn Plummer. Now, Glenn Plummer, you know him, Top Gun Maverick, Anybody But You. Also, you might know him from that movie Hidden Figures as well. And what's that movie? Aviation, I believe. He was holding it. He holds it down for the old flying movies, and he hold it down for the old black civil rights aerial movies too, right? So I mess with him. I love me some Glenn Plummer. That movie's coming out, Twisters. But the big part about this, all right, please go see it because I'm gonna go see it. I'll be there opening night. But Lee Isaac Chung, he is the director of the film. Went out at press junket time, goes out and says that this film isn't about climate change, despite the fact that it deals with a natural disaster that is weather-based, I might add. He says that cinema shouldn't be preachy. So, all of my, look, I have diverse listeners. I'm proud of it, diverse mindsets and everything like that. So a few of them, I imagine, are just like jumping for joy, especially if you aren't listening to what's going to be released tonight because you're like, you know what, I'm watching something on Fox News or what have you. You probably love the fact that he's saying that that movie shouldn't be preachy. But I got to keep it a stack. Twister, the movie, all right. This is a story by Joseph Kosinski. Again, you know him from Top Gun Maverick. Nevertheless, screenplay written by Mark Smith. This is a sequel to the 1996 film Twister. I believe that there is no connection, so you won't see too many characters. You won't see any characters returning, right? It's a standalone sequel. This comes out at a time where movies, especially like Roland Emmerich movies, if you believe, those are all about preachiness. Just 100%. So to say that movies shouldn't be preachy, you're making a movie about storm chasers. There is some environmental lesson, even if you did not intend to have it. And that's fine if your movie will not have it. People are going to go into this thinking about, all right, you know what are we doing about climate change? And then to say like that this movie isn't about climate change, that movie shouldn't be about that. What you were essentially saying is that we shouldn't be making movies about climate change, right? So Roland Emmerich shouldn't be making no, Day After Tomorrow or anything like that. The reality is this, films tell us about ourselves, and it is an easy way. I know that is escapism for some people. I get that. You do reserve, and you should have that right to have an escapism with your film. So you won't get me. You won't get me mad at you about that. You know, you deserve, like, if you just like, hey, you know what? I don't like being told and taught things, right? That's fine. Movies though, I'm not going to say that I'm going to fall short of saying that there's a responsibility, because I don't look at that as, certainly don't look at it as like something that's chaplain or something that is scriptural in any capacity. I don't look at it something as Martin Luther King revolutionary. These are just films. But films do have an important place in the sense that they teach us something. So if preachiness, it just means that, hey, you don't need to have hidden meanings and just have a film. Okay, I guess I can get that. But look, you look at the history of film, something like Birth of a Nation. Revolutionary as a film, taught us about ourselves at that time. Let us know about a really awful president that wanted to see that movie in the White House and promoted the heck out of it. But it talked about the racial stereotypes at the time and how we treat folks. You look at something along the same vein, Distant Strangers. Not Distant Strangers, sorry, Defiant Ones, I mean to say. And it teaches about race relations. You look at Dr. Strangelove at a time where as JFK said, we're alarmed by the steady spread of the deadly atom. You look at a movie like The Accused, and it talks about the plight of women as it relates to sexual assault, no matter what the brutality level is. And you talk about, like, as I referenced earlier, a movie like Hidden Figures. And I know that one's a biopic. That's a biopic and all. But the reality is that films have a special place in that for those who just don't have the time to read or don't have the discipline or just hate reading, whatever the case may be, sometimes films provide that level, even if there are historical inaccuracies. It provides that level of, let me go research and learn a little bit more. Let me have this resonate because I'm watching something, a visual medium. Films can be preachy. They can also not be preachy, but there is nothing wrong with films being preachy. And so I got to disagree with the director on there. And look, we're going to go to a break, but we are joined by my main man, Koalo, the producer. Let's go ahead and do a read. We're going to read from a quick sponsor, and then we're going to get into it. So, everyone, Today's episode is brought to you by Pacific City Escrow. Look, those are our friends at Pacific City Escrow. That is Heather Hill. Look, now I have said this for years for all you people that have been listening to the podcast, The Weekly Shift. When you are thinking that, you know what, I'm ready to go buy a home, and you're just a little nervous. Look, you talk to a realtor, they're kind of annoying. You know, my guest, he's a homeowner too, a multiple time homeowner. He knows this too. You're just like, it's a daunting process. But look, when you want escrow and you're like, I don't want to go down there. I don't want to get screwed over. I don't want to get annoyed and blah, blah, blah. They bring all these paperwork. There is one person to go to. That's our friend Heather over at Pacific City Escrow. Now, here's the deal. I don't care where you live. I live in Southern California. It's the best place to live. They're down in Orange County. But even before COVID ever hit, they were the revolutionaries. All right. And just saying, let's just meet over camera. Let's go ahead and do all of your paperwork. They had e-signing available. And now here is the best part of that. When you go to Starbucks, they don't say, you know what? Your price is dependent on the fact that, you're pushing that electric car. All right. You know what? Or we're going to charge you this because you're in a hoopty. That doesn't even happen. All right. No. All right. That doesn't happen at Starbucks, and it doesn't happen with Pacific City Escrow. All right. Now, look, check them out. You're going to go to mortgage. You want a provider. You tell your realtor to take you and your services over to Pacific City Escrow. Check them out, pacificcityescrow.com. All right, everyone, we are back to the weekly shift, and I am absolutely excited. Again, this is the reincarnation of the show. We aren't talking politics here because we're having a lot more. We're having a lot more music focus. We have a lot more entertainment focus, and who better to do that than a man that I've known for quite a while, and that is my main man. That is Grammy-winning producer Koalo. How you doing, my man?
What's up, man? How you doing, Chris?
Man, I am doing amazing. Look, you see this background is a little bit janky. I do apologize. That is unbecoming of you and the king that you have right behind you, and the king that I am talking to. But yeah, we're trying to figure that situation out, man. But I'm doing well, and look, I want to get into you because like we've got a lot to talk about, and I want to say first and foremost, man, I am so amped and proud of all your continued success that you continue to have within this space.
Thank you, bro. It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Yeah, well, it's a blessing and it's also skill too. All right, let's not shortchange yourself. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Look. So, look for some of my listeners, right? Tell them a little elevator pitch. Give them 5 second, the 5 second skinny on yourself. All right. Because look, I'd say that you're a producer. They may not know what a producer means, right? They might be, I don't be seeing him all up in the video dancing,
right,
all that different stuff. Yeah.
Right.
What is this? Yeah. Talk to us a little bit.
So pretty much, I'm not all up in the videos dancing. I'm behind the scenes. A lot of people would call me a musician. I would agree with that. I am a musician alongside of being a producer, record producer. I pretty much get in the room with artists, songwriters, and create art that people either love or hate.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. All right. So listen, I got it. All right. So Apple Music just came out. They are now highlighting where you can search by your favorite producer. So I see that you are now honored in that, right? So huge shout out to you. But let's get into some of these numbers. All right. You got with over 99 songs, right? Over 5 hours worth of producing. I got to know what you got in store for the 100th song, man. Talk to us. Are you able to give us a little info?
Is that for real? Over 5 hours?
I tried to do research. All right, I went and dug in. I was like, man, this brother prolific.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. I didn't even know that, but yeah, I been doing this for a while. I was raised in a family that honestly put me and my sisters into different aspects of sports, education, art, acting. I mean, I'm from LA, so you have your pick of the litter when it comes to anything you set your mind to out here. So yeah, I gravitated towards music because I wasn't the best athlete.
Oh, hold on now. No, we talked before. You told me that baseball was your first love.
You know what? Baseball was my first love, and I was great at baseball. But what happened with baseball was I was so good that they bumped me up to an age range that I wasn't necessarily ready for. So when I got there, I was put on the bench where I'm so used to being the star of the team. Now I'm at the end of the bench, and I started not taking baseball as seriously as,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
This
Like,
feels like the plot of that movie, Mr. 3000. Yo, what's up, man? All right. Yeah. He said they put me on the
who
bench. I
was
said,
that?
no, I'm not.
Mr.
I ain't
3000,
with
who
it.
was that? Bernie Mac?
Yeah, Bernie Mac. Was
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Brian
yeah.
White? Man, I was like, yo,
You know what?
you're both there.
I haven't seen that movie in a while, but if that's the same storyline, then man, you know what? But where my life led me to, I am extremely happy about. I've like extremely blessed. Like, you know what I mean? That's all I can say. Like, I'm just happy
Okay.
where I'm at.
All right. So it's all right. I got a question. All right. So
Yeah.
I imagine you ain't sitting there pulling the hardball thing, just doing a bunch of Biggie Smalls with your teammates and everything like that. You're like, all right, you know what? I got bumped up and everything. The transition to music specifically happened when? Do you remember that exact moment?
You know what? It was something that I was doing at the same time I was playing sports.
Okay.
My parents, like a lot of parents out there would buy their kids pianos, like the little, I don't know, it was like maybe 49 key Casio piano.
Okay.
So I just remember, waking up sometimes in the morning, banging on that thing, nothing serious. And then I'll go
Hmm.
outside and play basketball or whatever sport I was playing.
Yeah.
But I always seem to gravitate back towards the piano.
Yeah.
My mother saw that, and at the age 12, she put me in a saxophone class. Well, it was more so a
Would you
music,
play alto or tenor?
uh, uh, alto, and
Yeah.
then I eventually, when I got to high school, I played both alto and tenor. Um,
Okay.
but at age 12, I was placed into a class where it was pretty much music theory. It teaches you how to sight read and just pretty much just elementary school stuff, like your
Okay.
skills and you
Now
know,
what? Now can you tell us about sight read? Because I have like a lot of dumb followers. No offense to any of my subscribers, right?
yeah,
They
yeah,
just don't
no,
know
no
things, right?
problem.
What is sight read? Talk to us about that.
So sight reading. Sight reading is pretty much like if you're playing a piano, you're not necessarily looking at what you're playing.
Oh, okay.
You're looking at the music sheet. So
Okay, yeah.
if you're playing, Bach, you're reading the
You're
notes
reading, yeah.
as you're playing. So
Okay, so you're not just looking at your hand, just like
no,
trying to
no,
make sure you
no.
get it right, like looking at your ashy knuckles or anything like that.
Nah, nah, nah.
You
We're not looking at no ashy knuckles. You're looking at the music sheet. You're trying to make sure you're
Okay.
playing it right. Bach is no easy thing to learn. Once you start, graduating to the Beethovens of the world, and yeah,
Hmm.
it got tough. So I got a little discouraged when it came to sight reading, but I was never discouraged on music. So, by the age 13, 14, I'm rapping in the neighborhoods with my friends and stuff like that. So one day my father comes home with a CD and was like, hey, um, you could install this program onto your computer and make
Hmm.
beats. And I'm like, what is making beats? I didn't even know what making beats was. He was like, that stuff that Tupac raps over the music bed? I'm like, yeah, like those are the beats. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Let me try this out. So I remember trying it out. I installed Acid Music onto my computer
Hmm.
and made some beats. The next day, I took them to school and I played them for a bunch of my friends. But there was one particular friend. His name was Robert Anderson, a really good friend of mine.
I
He
see
told
we're
me,
using government name. All right, good lord.
yeah, Robert Anderson. Yeah, Robert Anderson. He told me, the beats were trash. And being the person that I am, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna show you, bro. I'm gonna show you how good I can get at this beat stuff. So
All
he
right, how old were you when this happened?
this was probably I was like middle school, so maybe
All
14.
right. How? Okay. All right. And I'm assuming he wasn't held back and he's in middle school now, then too. There ain't no way in hell I could have been 12, 13, and been like, you know what? I just have an ear. This is whack, right? I would have like, hey, my dog put this on. This is actually pretty great, like,
Well, you got to also assume back then a lot of music that we were listening to was amazing.
yeah. Okay.
Like
That's a good
that
point.
was like the early 2000s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
all that stuff was great. I mean, even the production, like everything was great back then. So
He wanted you to be Irv Gotti right out the jump, right?
he
Yeah.
wanted me to be Timberland right out the gate. Jay Dilla, he wanted me to be that. Like that's what
Yeah.
he wanted me to
He
be.
said this ain't even the Rock Wilder crap.
Nah, this ain't even track masters and it wasn't none of that. Yeah. Um, but I stuck with it. I didn't give up. And I knew I wanted to be a rapper. I'm like, yo, I want to rap. I want to rap. I want to rap.
Mm.
And me and my boy Jamal. I introduced Jamal to acid music as well, and me and him were like
Okay.
a duo. We were a rapper, and
Okay. Now, what was this group called?
we were called Saga and Lil Dot.
Saga. And which one were you?
I was Saga.
Okay. All right. And then how did you get this name?
Which one was you? What's up?
Yeah. Okay. Now, how did you get this name, Saga?
You know what? My name was actually Saga Quest, and back
Okay.
then I was a
You about to get
fan.
sued by the Roots, man.
No, no. You know what? You know what's funny? You may
Yeah.
know this cartoon, but it was a cartoon called Johnny Quest that I was.
Oh yes, with
Yeah,
Bandit and Haji
right.
and Race Bannon and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All right,
I
Race
was
and
a fan. I was a fan of
okay.
that TV show. So,
Yeah.
and I was a 14-year-old kid, and I was thought I was smarter than what I was. So I was like, oh, Saga, like an era, like. So I was like, oh, that's a nice name. Like this is my era of music, like Saga.
Yeah.
So Saga Quest, I put the two together, Saga Quest, and
Okay.
that's how I got that name. So I was Saga, and JQ. Yeah,
Okay. Now hold on. So this is a revelation, right? I'm gonna try to make sure I don't get down a rabbit hole. Is there a track somewhere on your in your archives in your cloud of you doing the Johnny Quest creating a beat to the John dun 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 dun
no,
dun dun
no. I wish.
dun dun.
To be honest, Chris, I wish I would have done that. That would have
So
been
you're gonna do
cool.
it. That's what song 100 is gonna be then, huh?
Yeah, that's my next thing. That's my next track. I'll get it out to somebody out there. It wouldn't be me.
Yeah.
Though. I'm not rapping no more. I'm
Okay. So all right. So now you're sort of in the RZA space essentially because you're doing the beats, except that guy Robert was hating and everything like that. He can fuck off. No, just kidding. Anyways, but no.
I Rob.
Okay. So you're doing the beats, but then you're also you're on the mic. So you're doing the Kanye, the DJ Quick, right? The
Right.
RZA thing, right? And the sort of around that circa 2002 era when Eminem's doing both also at in some capacity.
Right,
When
right.
did you just say, all right, I'm not going to be on the mic. I'm here. I'm the chemist up on this piece. When did that transition happen?
Oh man, that is a great question. Why did I stop rapping? I honestly, I just grew a liking to just the creation of the production, and
Okay.
I would say that probably happened. Man, that probably happened in college.
Okay.
I
Now you went to CSUN, right?
I went to Cal State Northridge. It's in
Okay.
the
He's
Valley
gonna
of
be
Los
happy because
Angeles.
we've talked about this, and I always forget because I just immediately start bragging about where I went to school. No, I'm just kidding. But he always gets me for not remembering where he went to school, so he should be appreciated that I finally remember.
Yeah, where'd you go to school again?
See, look at this. All right, he's trying to play a joke on me, y'all. No, what is it? North Texas and Georgetown, man. All right, yeah.
Oh, you went to Georgetown.
Yeah, yeah. Don't forget North Texas, right? Yeah. I
Oh,
don't
you went
want
to
to.
North Texas too,
Yeah,
man.
my direction. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you get to see sun, and at that point, you're like, okay, I'm dropping the mic.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I got to see Sun, and of course, this was 2004, 2005. So
Mm,
everybody and their grandma was a rapper. So
yeah.
and everybody was good. Not to say that I was discouraged from rapping because I do remember rapping with my friends back then,
Hmm.
but uh I being the guy at the dorms that made the tracks, I don't think I had time to write anymore. So I was just, oh, that's Zaire who makes the beat. So everybody came to my dorm room to create. So I didn't have
Mm,
time to write. So I think maybe that's when it happened, but
yeah.
it just kind of gradually happened. I do remember always writing hooks. Like I loved writing
Yeah.
hooks. I thought that was dope. But me on the mic at Saga, that ended. That ended.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay. So you get the season. All right. So you've at this point you're what 6 years in, I
I'm
guess.
6 years
And
amateur.
putting together music.
Yes.
What do your parents say? Are they like, hey, you know what? We didn't think that the little 49 keys that we got you would lead to this, right? Because like, are you at that point majoring in music or no?
So I majored in business marketing. I've always had a thing for finances, even from a young age. I mean, I've watched my parents like
Sounds like Master P and Diddy.
the.
Not Diddy. Sorry, not Diddy.
Honestly, I
Diddy.
always have. I remember. I
Yeah.
always tell people this. I always remember as a kid. I not to say I created Super Smash Brothers, but me and one of my friends when we were like 8. No lie, Chris, we were 8 years old, bro. And Nintendo 64. No, not even Nintendo 64. Super Nintendo was out, and
Yeah. They're
we
not a sponsor, by the way. When you hear them say Nintendo twice, they are not a sponsor. And also Nintendo. we are not the ones telling him that he said that he created Smash Brothers. So FYI, go ahead, continue.
I'm not saying that, but I will say this though. I will
Yeah.
say that we did say that it will be dope at age 8 that if all the characters in Nintendo fought each other. We did say
Hmm.
that. And
Okay. There we go.
we got a letter. I mean, we got the address to Nintendo. We don't know what address it was. It could have been, I don't know. We just got a address to Nintendo. We wrote down everything. I remember because we talked to my friend's mom and they're like, yeah, write it down, send it in, see what they say. We did that. And they sent us a letter back. And I think it was along the lines of like, thanks for your consideration or something. I mean, till this day, I can't. Now that I'm older, it's like, man, I can't believe they actually wrote us back. But I
Yeah.
guess they could tell we were kids. And I
Oh,
sure
all right. Oh, the R was backwards. The N was backwards.
probably no. And
Yeah, it was written in crayon.
I think the homie's mom helped us out too. Like she
Okay.
had helped us, but mailed it in. They mailed it. They sent us a letter back saying, you know, cool, we, you know, blah blah blah, and that's as far as it went. And sure enough, 8, 10 years later, Super Smash Brothers comes out for Nintendo 64, and we're like, we had that idea. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But you know what? Why I don't know why I said that. Oh, I've
Well,
always,
you're bragging about your business acumen and your
I've
creativity.
right,
You're like Nintendo jacked me.
I've always been into business. I've just always grown a liking to like business. So when I knew when I got to college, I was like, oh no, I love music, but I want to learn more about business. Um, oh, I think like my sophomore year, I was like, let me start taking some music classes. So I like enrolled in like some music theory classes and guitar classes and things of that nature. And
Hmm.
but I just loved finances, bro. I've been in the stocks. I'm still in. I own 3 homes. One is a Section 8. I'm building equity on each home. I have everything from IRAs, the whole life insurance, the IULs, and I have about 4 or 5 brokerage accounts with all that are just money spread across. Like I'm into it. Like I'm into the financial world.
Okay, so what's the IG handle said all my listeners can ask you for money? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm messing with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, all right, so you're all right. You know, you grew up in LA. Now, as I understand, you went to Laces,
I
right?
go to laces.
Okay,
Laces, man.
what impact did that have? Because did you start going there in middle school, or were you just started? Was it in high school, or what?
No,
And what?
so laces is a combination of both middle school and high school. So it's 6 to 12. Like
Okay.
you're a young sixth grader with seniors.
Hmm.
So there are 12-year-olds that are with 17 and 18-year-olds. Like that, it was just we were all on the same campus.
Okay.
So that's what laces was. It was an
Okay. Now
enrichment school.
it was an enrichment
It
school.
was
Okay.
an enrichment school, a little bit more, a little bit less on athletics and more so on academics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did this school impact you artistically at all? Do you think?
It did. I mean, of course, yeah. I mean, it was a magnet school, so yeah, we it was a huge emphasis on the arts. Um, I took everything from sculpture to painting class, of course, music. I was pretty much a music
Hmm.
class. My whole high school, duration. I was from jazz ensemble to band. You think of it? I was in it.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so yeah, of course. Like, yeah, Laces is a great school. Like, I would send my kids to Laces for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, all right. So with all that, all right, you're taking the music class at Laces. You're there from the jump. I went to like trashy schools, and their music was like you had some old Barbara Bush ass looking lady who's just telling you that trying to push something weak like the clarinet on you. You know what
Nah,
I mean?
we had
Um,
Mr. Monarch, man. Mr. Monarch,
Mr. Monarch.
that was the guy. Mr.
Okay.
Monarch.
Do
Yeah.
you go back to him now and say, "Yo, the
Definitely.
brother got a brother got a Grammy"?
I haven't seen anybody. I haven't stepped foot in my high school since I've left, which is a shame.
Oh,
But
no,
I
forgot where we
knew.
came from. I see. All right, what's
Yeah,
just kidding.
I came and left. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, okay. So, do you think is there a producer you look at? Okay, that this person influenced you as you were to think back at that time. You know, like because like you said, there's great music coming out. You start doing this at 1998. Then by '04, everybody's trying to be a rapper. It's just producer. It's just produce. Right. That's right around the time where it just comes like, yo, producers are the guys, I want to be, you're like, I want to be Manny Fresh, I want to be used, all this stuff, right? Do you have like someone you think, all right, they've influenced your sound, they've influenced sort of the business acumen side of it and everything, the sort of whole creation of a project?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, of course, Timberland and the Neptunes. I mean, anybody from
Hmm.
Virginia was a massive influence for me. Like back then, that was the sound, and
Hmm.
the things. The reason why I gravitated towards those producers was because they were so diverse. They could literally touch in any genre they wanted.
Hmm.
Um, and to me, that's what was the definition of a true producer. Was somebody
Hmm.
who can get in a room and produce. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter who it is. I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to add my touch to it, and it's going to sound great.
Yeah.
So I always gravitated towards those type of producers, and of course, I'm from LA, so the Dr. Dre's of the world and the DJ Quicks of the world and the Battle Cats of the world. Those are, of course, yeah, like that. That's like bread and butter. That's where that's why my drums got to knock. My drums got to knock. I don't care if I'm doing a country record. My drums are gonna knock, and
Yeah.
that's just my West Coast roots. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, all right. So you mentioned something, particularly around the doing different genres, like respecting them for the ability to do different genres, and then obviously your drums got to knock even if you're doing country. So what, like, I guess, like you think about, all right, you're asked to do production. How do you think you're sort of I guess, like, how do you think that your sort of your process differs when maybe you're doing something with hip hop focus, maybe you're doing something that might be pop focused, maybe you're doing something country focused. Do you have a number one? Do you have a favorite of the genres to do, and then how does your process differ?
Oh man, favorite. Do I have a favorite? Huh, that's a good question.
And if this would be disrespectful to any of your artists, we can scratch that
No,
question.
no, no. You know what? Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind, my favorite genre. Hmm. You know what? I actually enjoy creating country music. It's
Okay.
that I actually do enjoy that. I enjoy creating country music and I enjoy creating R&B music.
Okay.
Um
So yeah.
and when I say country, I mean to me country could be folk. Uh nah, I can't say that. That's two totally different genres. I like guitars. I
He's
love
just saying broke. He's just saying broke white people.
no, 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 no. Honestly, I love the guitar. Like the guitar is
Mhm.
like so any genre. I feel like, and honestly, any genre you can use a guitar. But there's something about like folk and country that like that sound. I love it, and
Mhm.
I gravitate towards.
Okay, nice. Okay, so all right. So with that in mind, do you
Mhm.
have a country artist you're like, you know what? Sign me up. I want to produce for them.
Oh man, you know what? We started working with this country artist, and I don't know if we can call her country, but she was creating country music. So artist
Mhm.
named Jesse Murph, who
Okay.
is really really good. I've actually done a record with her. Me, Oak Felder, and my partner Trevor Brown. We produced a record with her. She's
Hmm.
really dope. We have on the record. It's gonna be her and Teddy Swims, which is a
Okay.
really really dope collab. And yeah, I that's one artist that I really enjoy working with. She's country. If I were to choose someone right now that I
Now,
would love
and I
to,
know I want to give her a little bit of praise here.
okay,
Now she's what she's done. I know she's done some songs with Diplo and Polo G, and
yeah,
I think she had a what's this song? Pray and Heartbroken. I think were two big ones that she
right,
had.
right, right, right.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Jessie is fire. Her voice is
okay,
amazing. If your listeners have not listened to Jessie Murph, I advise you go and check her out. She's really dope, really really dope.
yeah. Okay, so you did a project with her. Sorry, and I interrupted. You were saying someone else just now.
Yeah, if I were to choose an artist that I would love to go in with who is country, I really like this kid Bailey Zimmerman. He's really dope.
That
Uh,
sounds like a New England Patriots quarterback. I'm not gonna lie. Isn't that? Yeah, when he started a
sound,
few games,
sound
what's
like
up?
sound like a lineman, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I've been listening to Bailey Zimmerman for a while, um, and yeah, he's really talented. Really nice voice. Really talented dude. Yeah,
And I understand he's from the bluegrass state, if I'm not mistaken. He's a Louisville kid. No.
Okay,
or not?
okay, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not necessarily sure. I love his music. I haven't really listened to like his.
Right.
I really haven't looked into his life.
Yeah.
I
I
love.
guess hip hop they're more focused on where you're from versus other genres, you know.
Well, honestly, I don't. I hate doing this, but you just make the assumption that everybody who does country is from Nashville, is from Tennessee. So, so I
Yeah.
just say you're from Tennessee, you do country. I know that's wrong, but yeah,
Yeah, no, no.
that
And
is-
actually, I think I got it. I think I got it wrong. Producer is in my ear. I think he is from somewhere around Illinois or something like that.
oh, okay, all right, cool, cool.
Or but I guess he's from a city called Louisville or Lexington, something like that.
Oh, okay, cool. Bailey Zimmerman. All right, yeah.
So this is what right. So y'all, nobody. So you can't see this, and neither can the listeners. The producer is off my ear, fact checking me constantly. So it's always fun. I usually just ignore and roll over it. So all right, yeah, you go. All right, so all right, so you got all right. So your country music, you love producing it. And the guitar is sort of the thing that brings you in. Do you play the guitar yourself? Is the
I do
question.
not, but my partner
Okay.
Trevor Brown, he's amazing at it. He's
Okay.
a wizard on guitar.
Okay. So, all right. So, question about your creative process, and maybe this can help out some of. Again, I have some of my subscribers and listeners. They're not that bright, all right, and they're not that skilled or musically challenged. I know it sounds weird that I talk about them, but they know. All right,
Yeah.
got a lot of neckbeards out there. So, for them that aren't musically inclined, you're creating a beat. All right. What is your process like? Like I'm assuming you're not just completely 100% on a processor. Are you on a processor? Are you doing the music live? Are you sort of doing the drums yourself? Right? Are you incorporating the saxophone? What does that process look like?
So yes, I am on a DAW. I am a Logic
Okay.
Pro user, Logic Pro X user. My
Okay. And is
process,
that's a music processor
that is a
for?
DAW. It's
Okay.
a program on Apple
Okay.
on the computer that
Yeah.
that is owned by Apple that we do use.
Okay.
You do
Okay.
use. And within that program, you could manipulate whatever sound you put into it. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter if it's outboard gear or like if it's a guitar or a piano, you can manipulate the sound. Or sometimes the things are in the box. And what I mean by in the box are programs that are within that program. So they're called plugins. And so and the process when it comes to creating music, pretty much we just have to make sure that the artist is receiving what they want. And if
Hmm.
they don't get what they want at the end of the day, then I'm not saying it was a waste of time, but I'm just saying that we didn't do our job. So
Yeah.
we have to make sure that A, the artist gets what they want, and B, the song is sonically good.
Okay.
Those are my two main focuses for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, nice. All right. So all right. This is look, that was sort of like Whiplash and the Matrix all rolled into one because there's computers and then there's like notes and everything like that, and it completely went over my head. But I am seeing, I
Yeah.
am seeing what you're meaning now. All right. So look, obviously we mentioned at the top you got a Grammy. All right. What is it like? You hear number one, you just get notification that you're Grammy nominated, right? And what's it like? You find out that you win. Walk me through that. Both of those days.
Oh man, you know what? When did I find out? I was at home when I found out I won a Grammy. Of course, I was on my phone checking it every 5 minutes to see if we won. And the
Mhm.
text came in. The text came in and said that Lizzo's album won. What was it? Contemporary R&B Album of the Year.
Okay.
And yeah, and
And which album by Lizzo was this?
oh,
So
oh
my
man.
apologies. It's yeah, I am not the most ardent listener. Is it? I'm assuming it's
Oh man,
I'm,
it's the first album.
producer is okay. Yeah, I'm trying to guess but the producer's in my ear trying to give me the info. I'm gonna block him out though. All right. Anyways, let's stay to the question. All right, let's stay to the
Yeah,
question.
it was.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't think of Lizzo's first.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
sorry. Damn, that's
No,
crazy.
you're fine.
Yeah.
Continue.
So yeah, I was at home, checked, got the text, and yeah, I was, manager hit me up and was like, "Y'all won." I was like, crazy, crazy, crazy.
Yeah. Now, all right, and I think that so yeah, the producers here, "Cause I Love You," I believe is the album.
There we go.
So
Golly,
okay, no, you're fine. That's just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, produce.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say the producer's name because I'm about to cuss at him. So yeah, all right, here I'm gonna mute out and cuss at. No, I'm just kidding. All right, but anyways, all right. So you got "Cause I Love You." That wins it. All right. So you find out you got nominated. All right. Then when you win, are you at the ceremony? Are you at the house or what?
No, I'm at home. I'm at
Okay.
home.
All right.
I'm
Wait. How come they didn't invite you to the ceremony?
You know what? Honestly, you gotta pay. Like you're either
Oh no,
invited,
that's not.
you're either an artist who they
Hmm.
invite because they want people to watch the Grammys. They need
Yeah.
to put asses in the seats. So of course, yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna invite the big A list
Okay.
artist. But if you're like a producer songwriter, yeah, you're paying for those tickets.
Okay. And now, and correct me if I'm wrong. The song you did, the song that you did, the big song that you did on that, "Better in Color," if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Which are listeners. And that includes my producer since he's over here like fact checking me and everything like that. Listeners, y'all need to make sure you check out this song. All right. Don't be BSing. So, speaking of which, though, good transition. All right. Well, maybe not a good transition, but I wanted to transitioning from talking about the Grammy and Lizzo. All right. So what's it like? You hear that you're gonna work with her, and then I know you did Demi Lovato. We're gonna get to this one, right? But what's it like when you learn? Okay, um, hey, we got this project. It's gonna, this song's gonna be Lizzo. This song's gonna be Demi Lovato. What's it like when you hear that you're gonna do a project with them?
Man, it's exciting and also terrifying because you don't want to mess up.
Uh huh.
But you're excited to get in with some talented people. You know what I mean? Like that's important.
Yeah.
I love working with people that challenge me. Um,
Hmm.
and not to say every A-list artist challenges you,
Yeah.
but when you have big voices like a Demi Lovato, who is an amazing vocalist, and a talent like Lizzo, who is also an amazing vocalist,
Hmm.
you pretty much step up to the challenge, and it's exciting, Brent, and also terrifying because you don't want to mess up. Nobody wants to mess
Yeah.
up, man. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, all right, now I've got a big question, right? It's and because like, look, your whole catalog incredible. I think
Thank
that yeah, and I think that there's something like so for my listeners here, y'all are this is really gonna hit, and they're gonna be like, aha, all right. So let's go back 7 years. All right,
you. Okay.
you're like, all right, worked on this project. Then next thing you know, all right, you're hearing at the radio, you're hearing constantly, all right, now I'm out here looking like revenge,
Hey,
feeling like it's been the best
hey.
I've ever been. And yeah, I know how bad it must hurt to see me like this, but it gets worse. All right, you hear this, all right.
Yeah.
You all right, you pulling up in the Tesla or whatever, right? And you just hear these girls bumping this, right? And then you're like, all right, that moment where it's like, all right, sorry, not sorry, just every fucking where. All right.
Yeah.
Like, takeaways from that, right? And like what euphoria are you feeling when you sort of learn with like, all right, we've got something that's not only is it because you go on to win the Grammy with Lizzo after that, I think, right?
Right.
But this one comes out and it's just the stratosphere, right?
Right.
And you got people here, humming, right?
Right.
Talk to me about that. Talk to me about thought process, right? How you're feeling. Is this a moment where you're like, you know what? Do you get that Joe Biden healthcare's passed? This is a big fucking deal moment or what?
Yeah, nah. I mean, we knew it was a big deal, like you said, once you heard it everywhere. Like
Hmm.
I'm an avid sports watcher. So when you're watching
Yeah.
a football game or a basketball game and that song comes on, it's like, oh, okay, this song may actually do something. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So yeah, once I think I was at home watching a Bengals game, and
Okay.
yeah, and that song came on, and Sorry Not Sorry came on. I was like, oh damn, okay, it's actually create some traction, and yeah, once it hit like top 40 and then top 20, I was like, oh damn, okay, like now it's going. But once it hit the top 10, that's when it was like, damn, like this is a smash, like smash record. Um and yeah, man, that was
Did
something
you
like,
cry? Did you cry?
no, I didn't. You know what I mean? Honestly, it's you in my line of work, you get excited, but you got to
Yeah.
also keep in mind that I work 5 days a week. So I'm in
All
a
right. Okay.
session every day. So yeah, of course you're excited that you have a song on the radio that's doing some, crazy, creating, getting some numbers. But at the same time, you still got to work with the artist that you're in with that day. So you got to,
Yeah.
put that in the back of your mind and work.
Yeah. Okay, now do you ever do a humble brag? Like you walk somewhere, you're like, yo, because like just the reality is, it's I think there's I think last I read 1.2 billion streams. It's her most streamed song in the United States.
Damn,
And to
crazy.
my knowledge, I believe I read somewhere uh, that was her first top 10 single since I think Heart Attack, right? And that's like
Oh,
it's
crazy.
only 4 years, right? But
Yeah.
at some point you've had you contribute to such a major impact, right? You go and talk that shit. You at a party, right? And you're like, yo, look what I pinned. All right,
You know what? I don't, man. I don't.
Okay,
I don't talk to people about
you're
what I
better than
do.
me.
It's not. Even my family gets on me about that because they're always saying, "You never talk to us about what you do. Like we always got to ask you." And I'm like, so I just don't. Not that I don't want to talk about it. It's
Hmm.
I don't know why I don't talk about it. To be honest, I just don't. I never.
Humility is the thing. I see.
It probably is, or I just love talking about other things. Like I love talking about
Okay.
sports. Like I could talk about sports all day. Like that's something I do. Or talk about cooking, talk about life, talk about life experiences, finances. I like talking business. Yeah. I mean, I talk music. You got to keep in mind, Chris. This is what I do. So
Hmm.
I talk music every day. Sometimes 12 hours, 15 hours a day. Sometimes I just don't want to deal with it. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I
All
just
right.
don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
I understand that. I had the same situation. One, it's like I've been trying. That's why people think I'm an asshole on social media. Well, there's a lot of reasons they think I'm an asshole on social media, to be honest. But I tell folks, look, I don't want to talk politics. And like now with us redoing the show in a certain way where we aren't covering politics, right?
Right.
But I was always known as the political guy, and so I'm getting 400 DMs a day, probably 250 of them about politics, and then I'm getting all texts about politics, right? And I tell folks, look, this isn't even my day job. And if I'm campaigning, I don't want to be talking about this. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right. Right.
And,
Yeah.
you know, and like now, like when I try to tell people when I say, hey, don't message me, because I'm gonna block you and blah blah blah, right? And they're still doing it, right? And it's like getting them to get weaned off of that. So I can certainly understand the hey, look, with it like that being a passion for you, politics not being a passion for me, right? So I want to make that clear, right? But that being a passion for you, but also something that you're doing, you're not just showing up one day and like, all right, boom, we have a hit, then bam, I'm off to the Turks and Caicos, right? Like you're
Right.
in the studio all the time, right? So I can
Although
certainly
I would love to go to Turks and Caicos for
well,
sure.
me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, with all those IULs and all them random accounts that you, right? You can send me to the Turks and Caicos.
No,
Um,
that's retirement.
That's what. Okay, yeah, yeah. So I can certainly understand that, and it's like so I resonate with that, and I can understand why it's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna brag it. Like
Right. Right.
there's a certain get away from this at
But
some
I
point.
will say this: if people ask, I will tell. But I'm not the
Yeah.
one bringing it up.
Okay. All right. Okay. Gotcha. All right. So you don't pull the Hollywood thing of yo. Well, do you know who I am? And look what I did. All right.
I have never uttered those words once in my life.
Okay.
Like, do
Yeah.
you
I
know
hope
who
I
I
haven't
am?
either. But yeah.
Nah, that's just not my character, bro. I'm super. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm low key, but in that aspect,
Yeah.
I don't brag about nothing, bro. I don't. I
Okay. All
feel
right.
like I don't need to. Yeah.
All right. I like that. I feel that.
Yeah.
So all right, you're a new dad. You have a 1 year old. So yeah, I'm gonna omit his. I'm not gonna be mentioning his name because all right, you're the government. You're the giving people's government name guy with the Rob or whatever his name was, right? But look, anyways, look. Do you find yourself sort of to any extent, right? Like ensuring that your son is now musically engaged.
You know what? I got a piano. I just purchased a piano.
Okay,
Not too long
like the
ago.
49, the 49 key one on them big old
No,
ones.
no, no, no. We got a big piano at the house right now.
Good lord.
Yeah, yeah. We got a nice little upright. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he bangs on it once in a while. Honestly, I got it just to have something else to do in the house. Like I get on
Hmm.
it from time to time, play some keys or just while I'm watching a game or watching, something on Disney Plus for him, like Bluey, I will sit up there and just try to play whatever's on the TV. And yeah, I
Yeah.
just got it for the house. But he likes to, get on it from time to time.
Mm.
I hope he doesn't necessarily get into the music industry. I hope
Uh-huh.
he falls in love with music, but not
Yeah.
necessarily get
In the industry.
get into the industry. It's
Okay, I can understand that.
Right.
Now, I understand the missus is in the creative space,
Yeah.
within in the artistic space, right? Within
Right.
architecture.
Right.
Does that how like to what extent does that sort of spur any sort of competitiveness between you two to say, hey, look at look at my musical design, right? Versus look at my sort of sculptural or whatever architectural design.
She's more. Yes, she does study architecture, but she's in interior design. So
Okay. Oh, so even more. Okay, so now there's even more creativity.
right. Yeah. So when it comes to that, I mean, we do share a love for homes. So I
Hmm.
mean, on YouTube or we're on HGTV watching, Property Brothers or some aspect of home buildings, and we look at a channel on YouTube called The Local Project, which is a channel based off of houses in Australia. And they're
Hmm.
just very unique homes done by very unique people, designers.
Okay,
And
so that's gonna be the fourth house that you buy. Then it sounds like.
yeah, no, I'm definitely in
All
the real estate. I'm definitely in the. I'm definitely right now. I'm actually about to close on my fourth home in Alabama.
All
So
right, look at that.
yeah, definitely in the real estate. But yeah, what she does is amazing. I mean, I see she's worked on a lot of, like, yachts, not yachts, I'm sorry, cruise ships.
Hmm.
She's worked on buildings
He
that,
said, "Put some respect." Let me correct you.
yeah,
Put some respect on it. Ain't just a yacht. All right.
she's
Yeah.
done some amazing stuff. Yeah, I can't knock the stuff she's doing. She's done, buildings that people pass every day and probably admire from afar. And she's done some great stuff.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah,
Now look, all right. So we're gonna get to brass tacks, right? So you're a Clipper fan, as am I.
shout out.
Now we
Yeah,
have.
not to. I'm a LeBron fan, and this was done by a really talented artist named Sarah, and I was like, oh yeah, I need that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
So
in.
for
I'm in,
our
I'm into art too. I'm into the art world. Sorry, but yeah,
okay.
yeah.
For our listeners, he sits in front of a very great piece of ticket Lakers game ticket stubs, all made to look like Los Angeles. It's a great piece, except that the jersey. Nevertheless, so shout
Yeah.
out to Sarah for that. So for our listeners, that's what you see. For all you people on YouTube, you can see it. Let's talk Clippers though. All right, new arena's coming up. How do we get you to be the person that produces the in-game music for them? What's up, man?
Oh man, we're gonna have to get in touch with DJ Dance.
Okay, all right.
We
So
gotta
yeah, so look,
do.
how do we do this? How do we make this happen? All right.
Oh
Like
man,
I feel as a longtime season ticket holder, you reserve and deserve the right
I
and
do.
first right of refusal for this.
I do. I would love to do a song. Low key, I want to do a song with YG. Man, that'll be fire. I know he a Clipper fan, so that would
And
be
yeah, he's
hard.
always performing halftime.
Oh
But,
man, yeah, YG. I see him at the games a couple of times. I mean, I don't know YG, but I see him like on the floor.
yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right, so so here I got some notes here. So for some of these jabronis that we have that are Laker fans that listen to the show, all right, and I always ask them to please stop listening to the show because all right, there's a lot of toxicity that comes in the weekly shift DMs. But so I want you to tell them about I want them to understand the reality because first of all, a lot of you Laker fans out there that listen to the show and just in general, y'all be showing up to the damn Clippers games. I know that y'all broke, so y'all come to the Clipper games, right? And you start running your mouth and everything like that, even though you can't even afford that team that you be rooting for so hard. But I want you to let some of the other ones know about the reality of what it's like to go to a halftime at a Clipper game, right? And why it's a great and the superior sport experience here in LA.
but you're saying the halftime shows are better at?
Yes, specifically, yeah, not the product on the court, but the halftime.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
Because you get YG, you get Montel Jordan.
yeah. I've seen YG. I've seen Ty Dolla Sign. Who else? They countless Exhibit.
Man,
I was a massive fan of Exhibit back in the day, and he did a halftime show at the Clipper game. That was fire.
I saw
Uh,
Nipsey and YG perform at the same time about 2 weeks before Nipsey was killed too.
you
So
saw Nip at the Staples Center?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, crazy! Yeah, he had on the what was that, number 5? He had the hustle on the back. Yeah, I actually
yeah,
took that jersey. That jersey is hard. That jersey is dope. That Nip had on, and it
yeah,
had
yeah.
the
It's probably
hustle in the
expensive
back.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to give up one of the houses you want to buy that one. All right, trust me,
Oh man,
we're
I know.
going for a lot.
I know.
So the in game experience for the Clippers is just far superior. And right now, how did you? growing up in LA, how do you become a fan of the Clippers? So
Oh man, my father is a Clippers fan.
okay,
He's been rooting for the Clippers since I was born. Um,
mm,
I mean, it's kind of for always tell people if my father wasn't a Clippers fan, I'll be a Lakers fan for real. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
How does your dad become a Clipper fan then?
you know what? He got upset because I think they traded James Worthy. I think that's what happened, and he was upset about that.
It might have been Norm. I think Worthy. I think Worthy only was on the Lakers. It might have been Norm Nixon or something like that. It's.
Yeah, maybe.
I hope your dad likes someone better than Norm Nixon though.
Wait, James Worthy on the Lakers?
Yeah, he was there the whole career. I think.
Yeah,
You know.
I want to
Go
say
ahead.
that that's who they. I can't remember. They traded someone, and he wasn't excited about it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Worthy was with the Lakers the whole time, and if it was before you were born, I know Worthy. I think was probably Finals MVP
Oh,
with
okay. Oh, he
with
was
his
there
own.
his whole
So
career. Oh, got
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it might
Oh,
have. Maybe it was Norm Nixon or something like that. But
yeah, maybe
we
Norm, because I know Norm
we
got traded after they won the championship.
I know he got traded to the Clippers at one point.
Yeah, he did. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe you're right. Maybe it was Norm Nixon because that was like the '90s when, like the early '90s or late '80s. Because Magic, when did Magic '85? Was it '85 when they won the championship?
They won a few, so yeah. It's
Yeah, but
look, you
the
know what?
first one,
I
yeah,
don't want to talk about Laker championships. Actually, right? It's
I
like,
feel you. Oh
hey,
yeah,
what are you doing? Look,
84,
no,
84.
don't be doing that.
I think it was '84 Magic's rookie year, right?
No, I think 79-80 was his rookie. Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
We
okay, all
look, you
right.
know what? We don't want to be naming all these championships that the Lakers won. All right, so
Okay,
look,
all
you
right.
know
Yeah,
what? Yeah,
I
that's
know
it's very disgusted. All right,
my.
this is getting producer. Edit that out of the podcast.
All right, we can
All
edit
right,
that out.
as far as we're concerned, the Lakers have zero championships. Fuck it. All right.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. So
shout
your
out to
dad gets you
Lakers,
onto the.
bro.
All right. Your dad gets you. All right. Because I'm from San Diego, but they're already in LA. By the time I moved, I moved to San Diego when I was like really young, but so
Yeah.
they're already gone by that point. And so a lot of folks assume that because of the San Diego that I became a Clipper fan, right? But it's always interesting when I meet others, right, that have no San Diego connection that are like, you know what, I am choosing to like this team with the funny name and the non-consistent jerseys, you know.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Now you be like you're a Bengals fan, and so for like I mean your LA loyalty didn't really seem that great a few years ago when it was Bengals Rams Super Bowl. How do you become a Bengals fan?
Come a Bengals fan because at the time I was a SC fan when Carson Palmer.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, and I was a fan of Carson Palmer. And once he got drafted to the Bengals, I just followed that team. And then they started getting players like Cedric Benson, and they got Chad Ochocinco, and they became like the quote unquote bad boys of the NFL. So I mean, that was just an easy decision for me. And LA really didn't have a football team by that time. The Rams and the Raiders were gone. So you only have two choices. You either or actually three choices. You're either a UCLA fan, an SC fan, and or you're a fan of a different team in a different state, different city.
Yeah. Okay.
So
That
yeah, I chose the Bengals.
yeah.
And
Okay.
I've been a Bengals
And
fan 18 years now. 18, yeah, about 18 years.
now, who did you like before Carson Palmer was there? Then
But on SE,
okay, so you only all right. So you were only college football prior to him
well,
going to the
well,
Bengals.
well, again, at that time, yes,
Yeah.
I was just started getting into sports. And so again, my father would watch SC games. So that was
Mm.
the team that I gravitated towards. And what's funny is I actually wanted to go to UCLA. I wanted to go to UCLA for college, but I was a fan
Should
of
have.
you know what's crazy? I got accepted to UCLA, but it was through ROTC. And around that time,
Oh.
America was at war with Iraq.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 You didn't want to. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
and my both my parents being veterans, they were like, absolutely not.
Whoa. Whoa. Hold on. Let's hold the phone. All right. Both your parents served.
Yes, both my
What branch?
army.
Oh, that is awesome. Right
Yeah,
on. No.
they were
Well,
both in the
thanks for
army.
the sacrifice. I know.
Yeah,
I know for firsthand how well, and were they still in the service while you were little, or did they separate prior to you being born, or what?
no. They were in the My dad stayed in the service until maybe I
Okay,
was about. I think he retired when I was probably 12 or 13, or
okay, so you
no,
never had to do the
no,
military brat
I
thing.
was probably like 20. I was about like 20.
Okay,
I went to a. They had a whole full ceremony for him. They gave him
Yeah.
awards, and yeah, it was like a big thing when he retired. He went to Bosnia. He was in Frankfurt, Germany, and well, a funny thing is, I'm actually signed to a guy named Oak Felder, and
Okay.
Oak's father was actually in the military as well, and he was stationed in Frankfurt, Germany, the same time my parents were there. And
Okay. Yeah.
and we found that out. So I'm like, oh, like, and Oak's
Yeah.
parents met in Germany. Oak's mother is from Turkey. And
Okay.
but yeah, both our parents were in Frankfurt at the same time in the early 70s, like 72, 73.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah. I thought that was just a little
No, that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the sacrifice. It's I had a stepdad in the Navy, and my dad was in the Navy, and then my aunt was in the Air Force, and
Crazy.
we're going to run out of time of naming everyone in the family in the service.
Right,
You
right.
know, uh,
Shout out the fam.
yeah, yeah. So, all right. So, look. So, talk. All right. So, we asked this at the top, right? What's next for you from a project state? All right. You mentioned you got an artist. Something's coming out, right? So we know what the 100th single, right? What are you looking forward to as it? Right? Well, what are you looking forward to, right, in terms of like next project and going forward, and what the rest of 2024 looks like?
Well, yeah. I mean, the next 2024 would be. Sorry, son is
You're good.
about to go to
Well,
sleep.
he wants on the piano. That's what he
Yeah,
wants.
he wants to get back on the piano. What's next for me? What's next for me is to continuing just to work, continuing to work with great artists. I would love to sign more artists. I would love to sign
Hmm.
more producers and writers, and that's what I've just been looking for. And growth, growth is always a good thing for me. I love growing, physically and mentally. It's just something that I've kind of been focused on for the past couple of years. I feel like that's important to take care of yourself. And
Naturally.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
the thing, yeah.
Well, all right. So before we go, we gotta let people know where they can find your content. All right, and where they can find info. So drop them whatever drop them the socials. What I know obviously we mentioned the Apple Music's profile. Drop them that info and whatever else. All right, this is your time to
Yeah,
shine.
so if you can go to Apple, if go to Apple Music, you type in my name, Zaire Koalo, you can find my playlist there.
Also, that's Koalo.
Yeah, Koalo. So Zaire Koalo.
And
Um,
that's Zaire, because I know
yes,
how something
sir.
I'll be doing. All
Yeah,
right, I don't want to get these DMs saying, Chris, how do you spell this?
yeah, ZAIRE KOALO. That's actually my at on Instagram, on Twitter. And if you're an artist, producer, songwriter, you want to reach out, just DM me, and yeah, we can see what's up.
All right. Well, look, man. ZK, listen, this was amazing. I love hearing about the journey, and like, congrats on so much success. We want more Grammys happening for you.
Oh, yeah.
And look, I'm wishing you all the best in 2024 for all of our shifters out there. Again, you know where to find them. It has been great. Thanks for being on this new incarnation of the weekly
Hey,
show, man.
man,
I'm
thanks
so
for
ready.
having me, bro. I appreciate it.
Oh, of course. This episode produced by our good friend Paul Verdugo.